And welcome to the Destiny Nerds podcast. This is episode 51. My name is Bearded Luke, and this is my beautiful, handsome, amazing haircutted co-host, Maddox. What's up, baby?
I pay good money to be nicely groomed every 2 weeks. Okay,
Every two
I
weeks?
yeah, I get my hair cut every 2 weeks. Don't
Oh,
judge
I'm
me,
jealous,
okay?
dude. I'd be poor. It's $50 to get my
Oh,
hair
it's no,
cut.
it's not cheap. It's not cheap. But I get it cut at my wife's salon, so I get a little bit of a discount, which is nice. So
Well, you're looking good. I was supposed
thank
to get
you.
my hair cut tomorrow, but I'm stupid and scheduled it during one of Allie's OB appointments. She's giving birth like any day now, and she has an appointment tomorrow. And I scheduled a
Exciting.
haircut at the same time. I was supposed to be watching Crew, so I had to cancel it.
Wait, do we
But
have like a name? Can you give us like a
can't give you a name. It's a
no
secret.
name yet? Okay.
You'll find out. It's a boy,
It's a
but
boy.
the
I know
name's a
that.
secret.
Okay. All right. That's
Yeah.
fine.
How you
I don't
doing? How's
appreciate
your
that,
week?
but
How's your life? We're not
it's good.
live right now. Also, like this is different. This
I
feels
know
different.
it is. It's a weird feeling. This is our first ever just pre-recorded, uh, you know, discussion, and it feels a little weird. But I also feel like we're also talking to an audience at the same time, in a way. You know what I mean? So,
We are. There's someone
so if
listening
you're
or
if you're
watching.
listening to this, you are one in a million. Um, but no, my week's been good. I went through a lot of stress with midterms, but thankfully I mean I didn't do as good as I wanted to, but I'm still pushing along, still
Dude,
tugging
all that
along, and
matters is that you get your degree. Who cares what your grades
that's
are? Nobody's
facts,
gonna look
that's
at your
facts.
grades when you go get a
These get
job.
degrees, baby, so, but I'm hoping to be finished, this year. I have my RN degree, which would be nice, and then I can, finally just enjoy my life. But, no, other than that, I mean, I've played, I've been playing actually a lot of games a lot recently, which is, believe it or not, which is weird because of all the studying and stuff that I had to do, and, but, if it's not Destiny, then I'm even still hooked on a little bit of Fortnite, unfortunately. But it's been a lot of fun. I've been gaming it up a good bit, especially late at night. I've been up a little bit later than I should be. So,
Nice. I feel like I saw you in Discord the other night. I didn't come in there because I'm
oh,
so
we
anti.
were we were
I'm
playing Faz at
so
like 2 a.m., bro.
yeah, dude. I don't go in there because I'm so antisocial on video games right now. Like I've been cowboying, bro. I've been replaying Red Dead Redemption 2 so when Crew was born, I restarted it. So
Okay.
it's been a year and a half that I've just slowly been playing it and like doing every side quest and every stranger and every animal and hunt. Like I've done literally every single. I'm trying to like 100% it. And
Jeez.
that game is so pretty and so beautiful. And I just sit there and I pretend that I'm like in the wilderness. And it's just the other night, bro, I had my fan on. I opened the window and I like felt like I was
I
pretending
saw
I was
that.
like,
I saw that tweet. That was funny.
so I've been doing that. I've been playing Red Dead. I'm about to beat it. I'm in the epilogue and I'm like very close to beating it. And I'm sad because I don't I don't know what I'm gonna play next. I have a giant backlog of video games, but definitely not the game that we're talking about tonight. But anyways, we're doing good. What y'all are here for, though, is to talk about this incredible, amazing guest that we have back on the podcast. One of my
It's
favorite
been a
people.
lot. It's been a while.
This is Evan F. 1997. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? Good to see you. And I just, I love hearing all the stories from all you guys, man. It's so cool. Like I love that each of you guys are kind of in like a different place right now, and it's like such
That's
a different vibe. We got
that's
massive
real.
dad vibes, and then we got massive. I probably, one day maybe I don't know. One day dad
Oh
vibes.
yeah. No.
He'll be a dad one
Eventually.
day.
Eventually.
Miniature dad vibes.
Mini
There
Yeah,
you
dad
go.
miniature dad vibes.
I love
There
that.
you go.
No, it's awesome though. I mean, I don't know. I'm really thankful to be on, and I'm really happy to be here. Just
We're glad
overall,
that you're here, my friend.
yeah.
Same. It's always good to have you, and I just can't wait to like dive in and see what your life's been like since the last time we talked. Because it's been, I should pull it up, but it's been a long time since you
You
were on
were
here.
you weren't living with your buddies at the time,
No,
last
No,
time you were on here, so it's been a lot's happened for you,
and
so
that
just
was Destiny Nerd still too, right? Before
yeah.
that wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
6 months.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
You were
before
on.
we rebranded, then rebranded type deal.
So this is your second time on here, and holy cow, that podcast was so fun. I just remember it. We like my favorite thing about this podcast is we get to like connect with new creators in a new way,
Mm.
and it's fun because everyone that we have on here is real. Like everybody's like, I feel like people get a little bit nervous to talk to they're like, oh, this is a big YouTuber, oh, that's a big this or that. I don't know about them. like every person we've ever had on here has been so real that we're like,
So
you want to be
genuine.
friends
Yeah, we
with
love
us
it.
like in real life now? Like I was so
Yeah.
sad that you weren't at GCX, bro. I kept asking everybody, like, where's Evan
I'm
at, bro? I want to
I'm
meet him.
coming this year. Last year, and we'll have to talk about the reasons why I wasn't there last year. The deep-sided lore. No, I'll be there this year. There was a lot going on at the time.
Let's talk
That's
about it
awesome.
now. Let's just get
All right,
into
yeah,
it.
let's spit it. So,
Okay.
bro, I was growing 2 channels at the same time and was also dealing with my dad's health. So I was just
Mm,
jumping back and forth from like my house to go and see him, see how he's doing, and then also like doing 2 channel worthy of like the same level of quality videos
That's a
at
lot.
the same time. And I was like, I want to go, but I don't have time and
Yeah.
family comes first. And then like
absolutely.
also trying to
Amen.
juggle everything. So it was like it was like a good reason that I didn't, but I'm still really sad that I missed it because I had so much fun in 2022. Like everybody that's like the part of the Destiny side. That's like the real life community side, which just makes it made it so special. And like, I don't know, I think it's very rare that communities have like that level of presence to the point where they're showing up in real life and in hundreds, not
Yeah.
like 20 people show up because they're seeing their favorite creator. It's like everybody kind of gathers like a mini summer camp where you see your buddies that you do raids with, you see your friends that you've always wanted to meet. It's an excuse for people honestly all around the world to just come together and just spend a weekend with each other. And I think it's such a unique and honestly, just such an appreciative experience that everybody should go if they can. If they have a reason to, even if you have social anxiety to be like, "Oh, I'm not sure because I feel bad about this," or like, "Oh, I'm not sure because people might judge me because of that." No, nobody really cares. Everybody's there to just have a good time. You got to think about it like a mini summer camp. So it's one of the greatest things that has come from our silly little game is just
Yeah.
the GCX event.
I agree, dude.
I've had a blast the 2 times that I've gone.
Same,
I
bro.
even my little brother never played Destiny. Hasn't played Destiny since whenever like Taken King was out, and like he loved it. He knows what
Dude, we had
Destiny is
so
and stuff
much
like
fun with
that.
Mikey there. He
And
made
he
it more
came and hung
fun
out
for
with
me.
us, and people he what was funny is we had people thinking that he was like a different creator,
Oh
like each
yeah.
day. Like one day we had people thinking he was Frosty, one of our buddies,
Oh
and
He
then
did
yeah.
because he
one
kind of
day
looks like Frosty.
yeah, one day we had him thinking people thinking that he was someone else and like, "Oh, dude, nice to meet. Oh, dude, I love your content." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah," just going along with it. It was so funny.
It's so
So, I mean,
dope.
Dude.
that aspect, the fact that he can go and still enjoy it, shows that it is a cool event
Yeah,
for
and
anyone.
the thing is, it's not like a traditional con where like a Twitch con is more like you're there to see people, but it's also like a lot of people are there for like business and they're being on their
Oh,
best
yeah. Oh,
behavior and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
everybody's kind of like cold feet sticking to their circles. It's like everybody either knows or will introduce you to, or you'll just be in the same kind of like presence and energy as everybody next to you. It's such a unique, cool experience. I love it so much.
Me
I'm
too.
excited to go again this year.
Same,
And
dude. I'm hoping. I have the weekend off. I'm not booking anything on it. I'm just waiting to see like what it's like to have 2 children before I dip and
oh,
leave them here with Allie. So hopefully I
oh,
can come because I
well,
had a freaking blast last year. I went in 2019 before I knew anyone,
Mm.
and then last year was the first time I went where I knew people, and me and Maddox roomed together, and it was just so fun. Oh my
It's
gosh,
so much fun,
it
man.
was a
that was the
blast. It was a
best part of
blast.
the summer. But dude, what's up? So like a lot's changed, like we said, since last time we talked. You now live in Texas with
Yeah.
with 2 other incredibly talented content creators.
Yeah.
Tell us about that transition and what that's been like, bro,
Um,
and who they are. I mean, everyone
so
probably knows, but you can tell
yeah,
us.
so I live with Sweatcicle and CB Gray. They're great. I mean, we just end up every single night when everybody's done with all their stuff, we somehow all gather in the living room and just watch Mario 64 speed runs and just hang out and then just
It's
like talk
hilarious.
and go to like Taco Bell late night runs and stuff like that. And it's fun in that way. Um, it's been a crazy journey and like I never thought that I would be kind of in like a content house. I never saw myself as like somebody that would be a part of a content house.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we don't treat it like one. And I think that's why it's worked so well. Like
That
we've
was something that
never
CB said specifically, and I'm glad that
yeah.
cool that you guys, like, say such similar things about it.
Yeah, we don't like the thing is you can't force everybody to a lot of these content houses I think fail because the people don't know each other beforehand. They're not
Mhm.
already friends. And when they're not already friends and they don't know each other,
Excuse me.
and they're kind of either forced to by their producers or they go out of their way to like make like somebody goes out of their way to like make everybody do content with them or there's like strict scheduling, then it just creates like tension. And for us, we made it very clear from the beginning that this was going to be a house that we just happened to live in, and then content is what we can or whatever produce there. We're just living in a house as a way to just make would do whatever we want to, because I think all three of us were sick of where we were living. Because for me, it was I was living with my parents and I didn't want to be loud or I didn't want to like take up too much space, and then things got kind of condensed and everything turned into all right. I love them, but I want out of the house because
Mm.
I was like 24 at the time, 23, 24, but I wanted out of the house. And California is pretty expensive, uh,
Mm.
very
Yeah.
expensive. So I was like, I'm gonna move somewhere cheaper. CB, I don't know. He probably told you guys this, but he had been living with his parents for a long time, and he
Mhm.
wanted to move on to something else. And then Sweat lived in North Dakota, and his whole thing in North Dakota is that it's just there's nothing to do, and there was like a lot of just he was just kind of chilling most of the time. And it was pretty lonely, is my guess. I don't really know everything, but I know that he wanted out as well, and
Yeah.
it's the same reasons that we all did. So we were like, all right, let's come together, let's find a place, and it's been so cool. Like there's a lot of learning. Oh my god, I feel like something breaks every 2 months in a house,
Oh
but
yeah.
like
He was
Homeownership's no bit
he was
no
telling
is
us
no
about
joke,
the
bro.
pipes busting and stuff like that as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
your kitchen flooding.
dude, oh my god. Yeah, that's something
It's
I
awful,
learned
dude.
about owning a house is that people who live here, who live at the house before you, will do everything they can to go like the cheapest route possible on fixes,
Mhm.
and then like you just suffer and you have to pay like the big price for everything. So yeah, our house was like the Titanic for a day,
Ugh.
and then we got it fixed, but it was like the tight bro, it was crazy. There was like a bunch of water shooting out, and then the funniest part is that there was this little bug that was just like swimming along, like he couldn't get out, so he just let the current take him out of the house. And I'm like using like a push broom, and I'm like sweeping a bunch of water out of the house, like out of the front door, and this guy's just like coasting.
Oh my
That
It
is
was so
gosh.
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah. We got lucky too, because it was mostly on tile. Like it wasn't
Oh, that's
really
good.
on like very little wood. And the wood that it was on, we like got all the water off as fast as we could. I don't think we even had like one panel warp or like get like destroyed or whatever.
That's
So
good.
we got super lucky there.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
That happened something similar happened to me where I woke up one morning and I like get up out of bed like I'm going to work and stuff and I hear a gush of water where I cuz I was on carpet and
Mhm.
our water line on our toilet busted and was just
Oh
leaking
my
all night.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
so we had to
Wait, that's because you put your, bidet on wrong, right?
No, 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 it turns out that that wasn't the issue. No, it was like it was deteriorated and like it was gonna bust no matter what.
Okay, okay. That's what she said.
It wasn't where I connected it. I thought it was the bidet, so I took the bidet off and threw it away because I didn't want my my landlord to like see that like I messed it up or something like that. But
I'm
no,
sad you
no,
don't have one
it
now
needed to be
because that changed
replaced.
my
Like
life.
it was an obvious
The
like
bidet, a little
Yeah.
water up the butt changed
A
your life.
the
bidet
water. Oh yeah.
I'm not kidding, a bidet changed my life.
They're great.
I feel like a little peasant boy when I'm in have to use toilet paper out in
Oh
public. I'm
my
like, "This is
Yeah.
awful.
whatever.
Where's the squirt?"
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's
I actually
amazing.
It
It is
is. No, I'm
it
not
is actually
disagreeing with
good.
you. I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying you might like a little too much, it sounds like.
Hey, it's 2024, I can do whatever I want.
Bro's so excited for the bidet.
That's great.
Luke looks forward to pooping.
Yeah, bro.
Sweetheart, we can't poop here in Walmart. I have to go home,
It's
okay?
actually true. Wait, Luke, now that you're a dad, like I feel like there's got to be a glory to pooping because you're like,
Dude,
oh, it's free time. It's like escape
if
time.
my wife could be on here right now, she would be laughing so hard about that because, like, bro, I pooped for so long, and it's because I'm like just chilling in there, like on my
And
phone.
like your feet go numb type shit. Like,
Well,
Dude,
I have a
the worst.
I also have a squatty potty in there.
oh my
I got all the stuff, bro. So like my feet are up.
I didn't know I had a geriatric co-host over here.
It's good
I think
for you,
Luke probably
bro.
has like candles in there and just like
Yeah.
has like a nice
Does your toilet like lift up so you can get up off of it? Like
dude,
electronic
just
lift?
you're supposed to poop like a specific way, not the way that toilets are built. So the thing pushes your
I
feet up
know.
so you're at the right level. It's
Wait,
just for
really?
it's
So you
so
don't
yeah,
strain
I'm getting old, bro.
yeah, so you don't strain and get
I'm not
hemorrhoids.
trying to well, I already have
Oh.
those.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
That's why
you have
the
high blood pressure too? Like
no, I'm good on that end.
good. You
I'm
got
on
high
my way.
cholesterol?
I'm on my way, bro. This is the first year I have to get my cholesterol checked and
Oh
stuff
my
because I'm
gosh.
30.
It
Well,
is
I'm 31
deteriorating.
now. So I guess I
Yeah.
missed it. It was last year I was supposed to do that, but I didn't go. I forgot.
God.
Anyways, um so what else is up, Evan? Like what's going on in your life? How
Oh
are you
man.
happy or are you sad? Are you busy? Are you tired? I heard you talking before this
all
about
the
being
above.
healthy. Like what's going on?
Yeah. I think I'm trying to find balance. Like a lot of the stuff this year is like push myself, but also do it in a way that is a lot more balanced for what I normally would provide to myself. In previous years, I would, no matter what, stay up all night to get something done. It was very much grind until the job is done, then fall asleep. Um, this last year, it was growing 2 channels on YouTube, so it was, like, splitting it, figuring out what works in variety, what doesn't work, what do people like, what do they hate, and then this year, this year, it's to just challenge myself and also not just and also take care of myself. So, like, for example, last night, I stayed up really late to get the Suicide Squad video done just so I could post it today, and it was, like, 36 minutes, and a really, really fun video. But once I posted it, I went on, like I just did a bunch of, like, self-care stuff. So, like, I read a book for, like, hours. I sat out in the sun. I, like, walked around for a while. Then I went and got groceries.
You
I
did like
worked
real
out,
human
like
stuff, right?
yeah, like, real human stuff that, like, I'm not used to doing for myself, like, things that people go, "Oh, yeah, that would make you feel better." That does like, you'd write it down and you go, "Oh, yeah, these are things that are gonna make you feel better," but then you just never do them because it's like you guys know, it's, like, so
Mhm.
routine to, like, come back to your space where you're
Oh
comfy,
yeah.
where you're always at because it's just so routine, so, like, when you do these things for yourself, it feels really good. So, like, for me, I'm really busy and I'm really stressed, but I'm also doing things to, like, reduce all that feeling. Um, but yeah, I think I'm overall pretty good. I think
What book did you read?
oh god, it's gonna sound super fancy, but it's called Meditations. It's a book on stoicism and philosophy from Marcus Aurelius, who's a Roman emperor from like AD 192 or something. It's like the foundation of stoicism. It's really good.
That sounds fancy. I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna
yeah.
say like what is it? A thorn of what is that
Oh,
book?
yeah, I
ACOTAR?
know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
I'm reading the Iron what is it called? It's over there. Iron Flame.
Okay.
It's the second book to Fourth Wing. My wife is like an avid reader. She's got like a
Mhm,
TikTok, like with a bunch of followers that's just
mhm.
about reading books.
Oh, she's a part
And
of the book talk.
so like yeah, she's on the book talk and I like she always wants me to she's like, "You should, like, read a book sometime." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I, like, hadn't read a book in, like, 10 years, and then I read one book last year, it was Fourth Wing, and it was really good. I was like,
Mhm.
"Wow, that was kinda fun. I think I could do that again." So now I'm about halfway through this one. I'm trying to read 5 books this year. And you're right,
Yeah,
doing stuff like that does make you feel like and it's funny because it's just, like, normal stuff. It's not like
very
anything
normal.
crazy, bro. It's like
Yeah,
reading a book is
like,
gonna make me feel better. Yeah, it
yeah,
actually does because it
actually
takes your
does.
mind to a different place.
And
You
you're
just
like
use your brain different.
and then you come out of it, like, so much smarter too, like, you come out of it and you're like, "Oh, I can read these words that challenged me before, now I can read them. Now I'm gonna bring this into how I talk and how I write," and then you're like,
Mhm.
"Wait, this was so simple. It's just pick up this little thing that is like, paper and
Yeah.
ink." Just pick up this little thing and read some words. But I mean, yeah, that's been really good. I'm trying to read 12 this year, but I'm not trying to read like big books the whole way. Like the book I read before this was like the original Pinocchio book.
Oh,
Actually
nice.
good, bro. That book is dark. I didn't know that in the original one. Get this. Pinocchio, it's like because the book was supposed to end after 4 chapters. Because
Okay.
it was newspapers in Italy before it was a book. And so it was like the cartoon newspaper. Pinocchio got hung to death the first time. And then because people were like, no, it can't end like that, the writer came back and was like, oh, yeah, then a magic fairy came and saved Pinocchio. And then he got cut down from the tree. And there was like the whole journey that like we know today, where
Oh
they're like
my
inside the
gosh.
shark and all that stuff. And yeah, and apparently in the original book, when he lies, his nose doesn't grow. Like it's doing bad things. It's not just lying. So like Disney like took that and like twisted it a lot. But the original one's a lot. It's cool. It's a really good book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check that out at some point this year. Oh, I guess I read 2 books last year. I read Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Which
Forrest Gump.
that
Yeah, I
Gump
haven't
book
actually read that. I saw the
that was
movie.
good, bro. The book is really good, like,
Mhm.
surprisingly good. I was like alright, anyways, Maddox over here like, "Bro, shut up. Like,
I
why are
I
you
just
trying to
don't
talk
have
about
any
books?"
opinion. I don't read books. I just
Dude, you got to. Just like
I
one. Just like one. Even if
I'm
it's small.
Dude, you would
I'm
like
alright.
fantasy books, bro. Like,
You would like
you love
fantasy
video
books.
games. Like, that's why these
Yeah.
books are about like, a girl who trains to ride on dragons and go into war and stuff, like
Okay.
and there's some steamy scenes in there that you
I'll
might
just
like,
watch
bro.
I'll just watch How to Train a Dragon. I'll be good.
Oh, before we talk too much further too,
Yeah.
I want your opinions. This is like literally we're not even talking about Destiny tonight,
Yeah.
but
We will.
The Super Bowl was last night.
It
Yeah, it
was.
was
Did it
fantastic.
I don't usually watch, but I'm all in on this Taylor Swift thing because I'm a Swiftie. All right.
Mhm.
Sorry, Maddox. I know that your
That's I
girl
don't
is, so me
give
and
a
her can
damn.
be friends. But I actually watched the whole game. First half, most boring thing I ever watched in my life.
Yep.
Second half, very
It was
exciting.
very good.
Yeah. The first half was all defense. The second half was the script. The script went crazy. That's all I'm
Mhm.
saying. Like I'm a big believer in the NFL script, and it went exactly how I thought it would, except for the overtime. I wasn't expecting overtime.
Do you think that
Although
it's actually fake, like the NFL?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
But it is funny to think about the script. Like the script is just such a like a funny idea. I think a lot of people choke against Mahomes. It's like the Brady effect again, where they just know that he's like gonna go down the field and score. So they like over analyze what they need to do instead of just like playing the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, he really
Yep.
is that
I'm a
good.
Falcons fan, so I agree. The Brady effect is now the Mahomes effect. I agree.
And you
Well,
know what?
like
I'm gonna call it the Shanahan curse because he
Yep.
was
He
the
did the same
Falcons head
shit for
coach.
us in
Yep.
2016.
And he didn't run the ball then, and he didn't run the ball this year in the second half
Yep.
at all, even though he had the best running back in the league.
that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know anything about football, but I do know that I saw they'd had this zoom in shot on Mahomes, and I'm like, oh, that dude's gonna score on this next like possession because he was like locked in. It looked like a monster. And then sure enough, they just ran it all. They just went all the way down the field in like 30 seconds and won the game. I'm like,
Mm.
geesh, why didn't they just
Mhm.
do that the whole time? But
Yep.
I know that's not how it
It's
works.
no, no, that honestly, I wonder the same thing. Like, why don't more teams run that 2-minute offense like
That's
that?
like
Really,
fast, bro.
like everything's just moving really fast because I feel like you just catch people off guard. Like, I think a lot of players like get tired and stuff, and if it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. But I feel like for the Chiefs, they do so well with like 10 seconds left. You know, like they're so good at just
They picked
having
the
like
right play is what
they
they do.
do.
They
Oh my
just, like,
god,
they
they
picked the right
do.
play.
You know what's crazy too, Maddox and Luke? Um, if you watch that play that Mahomes had before they had to kick the field goal to tie it for overtime, he had somebody wide open in the middle,
Yeah, I
Mhm.
and he
saw.
like tried to go to Kelsey so that he would have the final touchdown. I thought it'd be so funny if Kelsey had like a look like pop the football and there's a wedding ring inside, and he's like, Taylor! And then she like flies down into private jet, Taylor, babe!
She flies
Just gets
down
down on
from
one
the
knee.
box in a
Yeah.
jet and says yes.
Did you know that he was probably gonna try to do that, and then she just was like, "No, if you do this, I'll divorce you instantly, or
Yeah, we'll
I
be
will say
div
no." Like, I will say no.
I was also interested to see what the viewership was for this Super Bowl compared to last Super Bowl with all this like
Oh, you know it was so high for
Oh, it
this
was like
one.
108 million, 128
I'll
million, something
look
like that.
did you look it up? I can look it up. Hold on.
I mean,
But
like in reference to like the college football national championship, there was like 25 million watching or something like that, 30 million, and then this had 108, I think,
Wow.
in total.
I
Yeah,
did see a
so like,
thing though today. It's like something billion viewers watch the World Cup final.
yeah, 4 billion. I saw
4
that today as well,
billion
too.
watched the World Cup final?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
like
god.
it's like 50 times more popular or something like
Yeah.
that. But
I mean, it is the worldwide sport, I guess,
yeah.
right?
And what else was it? I can't remember. Oh no, I was sitting there thinking like everybody they're bragging about getting 100 million views or something. I'm like, bro, Mr. Beast gets 100 million views in his sleep.
Yeah.
He is
He is like I feel like it's weird because a lot of people even I think internally have like a stigma with YouTube where it's not seen as the same level of like production, right? Because it's just you have traditional television, you have streaming service television, you have things that require like a lot of people to be involved to push out one piece of art. But
Mhm.
Mr. Beast is getting the viewership that is better than a lot of streaming services that can pump billions into advertising. This guy's doing it
Mhm.
on his own accord, which is yeah, that I mean, I don't think there will be a better YouTuber that overall encapsulates like what the potential of the platform is than Mr. Beast. I
Yeah.
think it'd be
He's
I think
just
it'd be
smacking
so
out the
hard.
water. I hope
It
that
would
he is the
yeah.
first person to 1 billion subscribers.
I think
That
that's
would
what
be
he wants to
crazy.
do. I think he said that's his goal is like
Yeah.
1 billion subscribers and then he'll slow down or stop. Like he wanted to hit 1 billion subscribers, which I'm not sure what he's at right now, but I
Oh,
mean,
He's
he'll
at
do it.
like
he was
he's
the
about to
first
hit
to 100 million or no?
No,
fastest. He's
fastest
what's their
Fastest,
name is
okay.
that like Indian
Yeah.
T
channel
series.
is still the number 1 and he's coming after them right now. And he's about to hit him, I'm pretty sure. I think he's almost to 500 million,
Mr.
right?
Beast has 238 million subscribers.
Okay.
God.
Man, he's got a minute. And but then I looked the other day and he has like 20 channels with
Yeah.
like over 20 million subscribers each or something
Mhm.
because he also does different languages channel like Spanish channel, Chinese channel where they dub all of the stuff with different languages. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's smart.
Anyways, let's I don't even know what the next topic is.
No, I'm
Oh,
But
looking at all the stuff, dude.
you're
Yeah.
good, you're good. I got
Wh-
us, I got
What
us. Don't you worry.
what's crazy is that I
Um,
think we even undersold that number.
Probably.
really?
Yeah. Because Beast Philanthropy is the lowest at 22 million,
Oh my
but Beast
gosh.
Gaming's at 41 million. Beast Reacts at 32 million. Mr. Beast 2 is at 36 million.
He's
He's just,
So
yeah.
that's just mind-boggling
so total
because
subscribers, he's probably has the most, like, when it comes to,
oh,
like,
definitely. Between all
his
his
channels.
accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Alright, so Destiny 2, what we were all
Destiny
came
2.
here to really talk about, you
Good
know what I
old
mean?
Destiny 2.
Maddox is like, Luke, shut
No,
up.
no,
We're
no,
trying to talk
we're
about
not
Destiny."
starting just yet because we do wanna talk about Evan and his, like, just e evolving content ideas that he's had. So, if Evan, like I said before we started, you have a very unique form of like your style of content is community stories and like and lore and different stuff like that. Stuff that's happened in the game, but also in the community as well too.
Mhm.
So my question is one, how did you think of that idea? What got you started like, and kind of really pushing that drive to get those stories out? And then also you've done a lot of more, you know, picking from different games as well too and telling other community stories. How did you get onto that train as well too? So we'll start there. While you do that, I have to just run to the restroom just very quickly, okay? But I'm still here.
Yeah, no worries. The man, this guy used the bathroom on the first question. No, I'm just kidding.
He asks the question, then leaves.
Just drops the mic, dude. Irish goodbyes. I think the main thing that got me into community stories was the fact that I had already loved just the feeling of hopping on every week on a game like Destiny where it was, hey, it's raid day, let's bring this thing together. Let like raid reset, I think it was Tuesdays, but on Destiny 1 I feel like it was different. It was reset day was maybe different, but either way, we used to do it on Fridays because it was that feeling of like, all right, get home from school on Friday, run this raid with your friends, and then like just everybody kind of comes together, does this thing, and it was so much fun. And then later on in life, you know, I was in community college, I was in regular college, and I was like, dude, I don't want to give up on content. Like it was the thing that I loved doing. So at first I wanted to stream because I just enjoyed talking to people. I enjoy yapping and it's fun. And
Same.
so I started doing like Souls games because I already love those games. And then I did God of War. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Destiny 2 Forsaken came out. And oh, it is way better than where Destiny 2 was. It's even better than where Destiny 1 was half the time. You know, it was so refreshing. And I just saw how happy everybody was in the community. And I was like, man, this is this is just awesome. And then during so I tried like post content and my guides were doing really well. I think I put out a Gambit guide, which, dude, that's the worst video I've ever put out. Like, I kinda have to apologize for that video because that
It's
Gambit
hilarious.
guide, I didn't have the Gambit title, yet the video was a guide on how to get the title, and I was like and I remember, like, halfway through, I was like, "Yeah, this one says, win 20 games, so I guess just do that." And, like, it was the worst guide I've ever it was the worst guide ever, and I was still learning how to
Just
do
do that.
everything, and I was learning on the
I
fly.
mean, simple though. Like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah, I was like,
just
"Yeah,
win.
just go do that." But I was learning on the fly, and then it was shadow keep time, so 2019, I'm in my final year of college. The summer, I got this job offer for, like, a really good it was a really good job, but morally, I was very conflicted on it because, you know and at the same time, I was like, "Oh, it was" I also just didn't like it. It was a job that was doing testimonials for a company that sold other people's data, um, and they presented it in a way that was like, "Oh, I can see right through th" and it didn't seem like I think it was completely legal, but, I wasn't happy about it, and I was really bored. The pay was really good, but I was really bored, and I was like, "You know, I'm gonna just try this full-time content thing over the summer in 2019." And so I tried it, and it was going okay at first, and then all of a sudden 'cause I had already been, really, invested in the community of Destiny. I had been in, like, a bunch of streams and, like, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I had already been, like, moderator for a lot of channels because I was just so active 'cause I really enjoyed the game and I really loved being a part of the community. And then, this situation came around with 999 Power, The Shattered Throne, Bagel 4K, Zoopa Doopa, all both of them racing to get their artifact power level up to 999 when at the time I believe it was 700 or 750 that you could max out at, and then everything else was just turning in bounties to get one extra level. So these guys grinded for like 2 or 3 weeks
I remember that, bro.
because
That
of
was
a
so
Mhm.
lore
awesome.
tab that was a lie from an unreliable narrator in the lore. So again, Maddox, if we read some books, we wouldn't be in this situation. This wouldn't have happened. Had everybody in the world read a book, we would have been fine. But
I
we
got
don't
enough
read we
reading,
don't
believe me.
but thank God for not reading because here I am able to tell the story of 999 right after because Bagel 4K goes into the Shattered Throne and it says use a rare fusion rifle. He's trying to kill the boss with a rare fusion rifle. Glad is watching it. He's reacting with him and he's in a call with him to like I think it was like 20,000 viewers.
Yeah, it
Like
was nuts.
it was just an insane day because everybody wanted to know what was going on. And then all of a sudden it doesn't do anything and then we're all debated. And so I put in my title the entire Destiny community just got baited and it was just a video um Dueling Karu standing there like this, like a movie poster that said 999 power or like that we just got baited. And the video in one day did like I'm actually gonna check it, but I believe it did like 200 or 300,000 views in like a
Jeez.
day. And I didn't know what that feeling was like. So I put up another video that was like on guides because that's what I was doing. And I just remember like, yeah, let me check the one day. Yeah, first 4 days was 245, and by
Oh, man.
day 80, it hit 1,000,000 views. So it was like
Dang.
almost an instant like, "Holy crap." And before that video, I had just done a solo flawless Pit of Heresy guide because you could get an emblem from it. And that one did like 200,000 views too. So I was like, "Oh my god." maybe I figured out YouTube. Maybe it isn't
I
that
did
hard,
it.
guys.
I'm doing it full time. I'm getting
And then
everything.
and I was like, oh my god, and I didn't understand anything. I was learning on the fly. If you go back and watch those videos, like they're horrible by today's standards, but I was learning on the fly and I really cared about like improving. So then then it's like, all right, what's another thing that the community like all rallied together to do? After my guide videos, and I enjoyed doing the guides, I made a video on like, is Garden of Salvation a cool, like the best raid and yada yada yada. And then I was like, I'm gonna try another one of those videos because I had a lot of fun with that. So I put out a video on Niobe Labs, and that video is like, oh my god, wow, again, 400,000 views in like 3 or 4 days. And then that one hit 1 million views in like a month. And I was like, okay, this isn't that YouTube is YouTube is so easy, yada yada yada. And then it's like the next thing and the next thing. And then it's like, oh, let's do raid stuff. And that's where it just kind of came from, was like I had this like burning passion to tell people's stories because I felt like, oh my God, the world doesn't know about this. Like it's so easy when you're playing a game for everybody to understand or everybody to think that like, oh, everybody's got to know what's going on in my game. But no, most people don't know, or they didn't know that they needed to care. And then so as it kept going and as it kept progressing, I realized that I just had kind of created a bunch of metas. Like I had created the meta of the word change forever became like I became like the change forever guy, like
Yeah.
the raid that changed Destiny forever, or like this forever. And then I see that YouTube title now in like every other type of game because I'm like, oh yeah, like obviously, everybody kind of does the pull and twist for everybody else's
Mhm.
titling or thumbnails or whatever. So now it's like it's cool for me. A lot of people get, I think, kind of jealous, which like that's fair, to look at like their stuff get used that way and be like, hey, that's borderline plagiarism. But for me, I'm like, no, that's like somebody who loves your content
Nah, dude, you
and like
pioneered something, bro.
like
That's like a
pioneering
honor.
something such a cool it's such a cool feeling. And like, I don't know, for that whole year, it was like I felt like I almost had like a responsibility because a bunch of people were reacting to the videos on their streams and were talking about it the whole year because it was just their stories. It was
Mhm.
the moments that they created. So I had wanted to document all of this, and there was stuff that I learned along the way that I didn't even know about. But since I got lucky and was playing Destiny in the very beginning of Destiny 1 in the beta, I knew what it was like, that feeling, that magic of being a D1 beta or alpha veteran or whatever, like I knew that feeling, and I just wanted to tell people's stories. And so it was so cool. And I got really lucky that I had already had friends that wanted to react to these videos to like 4,000, 5,000 viewers at the time. And then it just turned into, honestly, like a flash because COVID hit and everybody's watching at home anyway. And it's just perfect timing, right ideas at the right time, and just genuine passion for wanting to tell the stories of gaming and communities and everything. Like I just have I just love it. I think it's the best, like just making this space that a lot of people don't understand is so cool feel like this magical world where they can step into a new window or a new story. Such a cool feeling.
I love it, dude. You're like doing storytelling. Like that's like what I do for a living. I like to tell stories through video, like physical
Mhm.
people. You found a way to do that through video games in a super unique way. And that's why
Mm.
they're getting that many views, right? Like you found something that people like. So like I'm glad you capitalized on it and kept making videos that you and it's cool because you like it too.
Mm.
Like, I can tell, like, you
Mm.
always I always see you putting, like, I got, like, this next script's, like, 57 pages, like,
Yeah.
someone that writes that many pages obviously likes what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Or at least cares about it being good,
Yeah.
and it's so cool. Dude, yeah, that's why you're the same thing we talked about this with CB last time too, right, Max?
Mhm.
Like, he does videos that are unique in a specific way that aren't the same as, like not that any of the content creators are doing, like, the exact same Destiny videos that, like, get information to people, like, those are cool, those are good, but, like, you guys are, like,
Mhm.
making entertainment out of
Mhm.
this game for
Absolutely.
people, even for random people who probably never played it that are like, What does that mean that everybody got baited in Destiny? I've heard of that game." They watch the video and then they're, like, enthralled in the story that
Yeah.
you're telling, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So how is that shifting, though? Like, have you been doing that still, or is, like, what's the next
S
step of that? I know COVID happened and then, like,
Yeah. So
since then? Where are
that's
we at?
it's a great question. I'll try to keep it. So basically, the best way that I can say it is that there's always going to be stories, but there's some stories that you feel like you can provide a level of excitement and that level of energy to. And then there's stories where it's not always pretty. And people, when I first started, because I had such an open catalog of telling stories, a lot of people assumed that everything was sunshine and rainbows for the game, when realistically, there has been bad times before. There will continue to be bad times in the future. And unfortunately, as time has gone on, I think that Shadowkeep era, the COVID bubble, and the Beyond Light right after, where everybody played Beyond Light, especially because it was this new era pitch to us about Destiny is going to be different and it's going to be this revolutionary thing, and it's the magic that you guys have been wanting. Yeah, Shadowkeep wasn't your favorite, but Beyond Light will be so much better. And Beyond Light came out in a year where people weren't really making games because COVID just hit, and then sunsetting and all this other stuff that has happened with Destiny. I think a lot of it has translated to people don't care as much about Destiny anymore. And so for me, um, I had started off in a window of Destiny being so magical for me because it was like me discovering my content at the same time as Destiny's having this like next era moment. So when it didn't turn out, in at least in my opinion, it didn't turn out to be that next era moment the way that we kind of all wanted. And Witch Queen had like a little bit of spark. Beyond Light had some sparks. Lightfall has not been good for a lot of people. I think a lot of that is translated to people leaving the game and trying other things. And I think that also because of the way that Destiny has become, where it's not really quest based, it's not really based around the mystery, the secretive nature of the game that I think we all fell in love with at one
Mhm.
point, and the PvP feels just not like that background thing that you can fall back on into, and you feel like the game kind of has this one rhythm to it, like, oh, it's working and I can see right through what's going on. You know, you can kind of tell that Destiny has lost a lot of its momentum and the
Mhm.
magic has gone away for a lot of people. And I think Final Shape will be good. I think we'll probably talk about that soon, but I think Final Shape will be really good. But it's not necessarily because it's coming from that place that we talked about of like the magic, the passion. It feels like it'll be good because it needs to be good to get the next era of people to buy into the next thing. But it's like you almost feel like, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I almost feel like it's like somebody is ready to pull the switch on like there's like a meter, or there's like a switch. Like up here is like the business side, and then down here is like the player side. And for a while it was like kind of in the middle, leaning back and forth. And then Lightfall and parts of Witch Queen and Beyond Light, it's been mostly here where it's been very business driven, where there's like more monetization, more things that feel like you're getting nickel and dimed, and more things that take away from the magic of the game to then keep you
Mhm.
in that loop.
Yeah.
Final Shape, I think, will be like down here because it has to be. But when are they going to pull that switch back? Is what I think I think a lot of people have given up trust because they've been burned so many times by Destiny. And there's a lot of games out there now that are just like there's so many new games coming out that all at least offer a different experience. And I think for me, a lot of the content related journey that came with learning, growing, discovering is that I think I've run out of a lot of interesting stories that I feel passionate about telling the same way that I once did. And I think it turns into me just talking about the bad stuff. And I don't really like talking about bad stuff all the time. I feel like I do it
Yeah.
when it's necessary, but I don't like talking about, hey, the game is like not as good as I remember it being, or like, hey, this is what's like. I don't like doing that. I want to just be able to sit here and just talk about how much I love it. But I also kind of have a duty of like, you are the voice that represents the Destiny community, at least to some people. And like, if that's my duty, I feel like it would be really wrong of me to just lie to them. Like, hey, yeah, everything's great, guys, while like the ship is kind of
Yeah.
sinking. Um, And then a lot of the content side of things, because that island of like that vast world of content of like, hey, there's this mystery, hey, there's PvP thing here, hey, there's new weapons there. Because that's shrunk a lot to the same kind of loop, a lot of creators have either scrambled or they're kind of jumping into the same things that other creators are doing, which again, I don't blame anybody because it's just the way that the game has been, but it's created this thing where it's like if I'm not rushing a video out, it performs way worse than it would have had I given it the right time because, you know, if you want your steak dinner, if you go to a nice restaurant, you want that steak dinner, you will go there if it's like, you know, if it's been given the right amount of time, you might watch it once a week or like once every 2 weeks. But if that same information is given to you at um like just a like road Texas Roadhouse or like something smaller like a chain restaurant, you're more than likely going to go to the chain restaurant because it's more convenient. Even though it's the same thing, you might have a better time at the nice steak dinner. So like for me, I'm like, you know, I really like this game. I'll be here when things are interesting for me, but I don't like talking about that the game isn't as fun, that the community isn't happy with this or that, and that, you know, I'd rather just like tell the big stories that I care about and then try to dive into other communities and see what's good with their stories and see if they have something that either excites me or something that I can talk about in the terms of like just live service as a whole. Like, where are the Destiny killers? Like, where are these games that what happened to these games that we had heard so much about? Like, I have a not to tease too much, but I have some stuff coming on like Division and Warframe, Borderlands, like all these
Ooh,
games that
those are gonna be
have
sweet.
had such a big history and I think awesome communities too. So like there's a lot of really cool avenues that I can go and I just don't feel like I should use a lot of my newer time to talk about things that are either negative or things that don't have that same impact of story as I used to.
And not only all of that, it expands your brand. Like,
Yeah.
if in the end, there's probably only gonna be so many Destiny stories that you'll be able to tell, and I think that you
Right.
have the talent and abilities to tell those stories in all of the gaming communities. Because 'cause you're right, even just those 3 you just said, I are like, immediately can just think of insane videos you'll make. And I watch dude, I watch videos like that, like, I'll watch videos, like, about, like, GTA 4 15 years later, why do people still like this game? Like, crap like that,
Yeah.
that's, like, an hour long, bro. I'm sitting here watching it because I love that game, and I wanna know the story of this thing or
Yeah.
why snow got cut out of it at one point, like, that random stuff, and I
Dude, I
absolutely
love
think you
that
could do
stuff.
that. I absolutely
It,
think you could do that, and I think that you'll obviously for while Destiny's a thing will be that'll probably be your main thing, but, like, it's cool to see you starting to push into those other avenues because there's so many games to tell stories like that, and you do it so unique that I think you would connect with, like, literally any viewer from any of those communities.
Yeah, one of my main things was last year or in 2022, I had tried my first hand at really experimenting with a different community because, you know, I talked about 999 Power and Destiny and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden there's a guy named Let Me Solo Her that is just helping people beat Melania on his own accord without any armor, with a pot on his head and 2 katanas. He's beating Melania hitless on a much harder version of her with desync and all this other stuff. And the other people are just emoting and like cheering him on. His video gets like 1 million views overnight. I'm like, this is the modern day Leroy Jenkins. I have to try to make a video on it. Made
Yeah.
a video on it and it got 2 million views. And I was like, okay, so people do care for the right thing, either at the right time or you know, I became Let Me Solo Her guy. To a lot of people, I wasn't even Destiny guy. To a lot of people that I've talked to now, they're like, oh yeah, I know you from Let Me Solo Her. And it's really interesting because for years I had been the Destiny guy, but one video turned me into the Let Me Solo Her guy. So then I started making some Elden Ring, but then I realized that I was doing both Destiny and Elden Ring on the same channel at like a high frequency. And I was like, I'd rather start a channel that is more focused on Souls likes or,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
anything
smart.
that kind of interests me in solo games. So my Evan Explains channel, which is now over 70,000 subscribers.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it has some stories. It has some stuff on Melania, which is almost at 1 million views. It has some stuff on Call of Duty, which I think I'm gonna because that was one that I think I'm gonna bring back to Evan F 1997 because it's more multiplayer focused, but it's on Call of Duty Zombies Easter Eggs World's First, which is fucking awesome. I'm sorry if I can't curse,
You
but
can.
it's
You can.
amazing. I love it. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. Bro, like you guys do you guys do any Easter eggs on Call of Duty Zombies?
No, I haven't played zombies.
I
mean, other than like the newest
unfortunately
zombies, like I played a little bit of it, but not like through the last
Okay,
couple
was
dude.
CODs.
World at War the first one with zombies?
Yeah.
That's the last time I played zombies.
Okay, dude. So they were so far ahead of even like because Bungie does a lot of great raid mechanics. They
Mhm.
were so far ahead of that that in like 2011, I'm having to learn Morse code for a puzzle step. I'm having to turn dials in a lighthouse that's spawning a submarine outside of the map, and then lightning is striking it. And there's a dude in a suit being sucked up by an alien in a lighthouse,
This
and
is
all
happening in zombies?
in zombies for Easter egg steps. And then so by the end of this, you get a wonder weapon, you get all the perks, you get an achievement, you get gamer pictures. But I was focused on telling the stories of the people that saw these Easter eggs. And so I'm gonna repost those on my main channel again because I'm like,
Do it, dude. That would
I
be that'd be awesome.
yeah, like I don't I think I'm gonna post it like closer to when people are talking about zombies because I just at this point, algorithms with YouTube, they're like you can't just post it out of the blue and expect it to do well.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
have to post it around the relevancy time. But
I'm surprised it's even stuff's performing that's not built around us. Well, I guess you do get lucky because YouTube loves similar topics and
yeah,
similar like things, but
yeah,
the way you tell the stories of the videos is similar. So that's probably where you get that consistency. You know what I mean? Like
I
you
think
might not
so.
only be making Destiny videos, but you're telling a really unique story that's longer in each of the
Yeah,
games on
no,
that channel.
yeah, I agree. I think there's a level of if you just make a really good video that you spend a lot of time on, and if it has the right title and thumbnail with it, then people will watch, and it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what size as long as you understand. Like, I mean, at this point, I've been in YouTube and doing videos for 5 years, which is crazy to think about. Um, but I mean, I've learned so much on that journey that now I
Wow.
have it down to like what I enjoy, and I can respect, like, I can tell who's trying on a video and who's really kind of like, take a little shortcuts on videos. Like I can tell. And I can also like I can learn a lot of things from the streaming space because man, like I love streaming, but there are people that are just so good and so on it and so aware of where they are. And it's so cool. So I'm just always like a sucker for knowledge and like learning new things about people and their stories, communities. I'm a lot like you guys. I love learning about other people, man. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite, bro. It's my favorite thing about this because I'm learning more about you as we sit here, which is fun. I love it.
Is your camera blurry on your end, Luke?
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like
You're like
low quality.
yeah, I don't know why it's
Yeah, you
not
turn into
little.
like 140p.
I'm literally. This is not a flex, but it's the only camera I had in the office. I have a $7,000 camera plugged into the HDMI cable right there, so it
oh
shouldn't
god.
look blurry.
No, I mean on my end it does.
It does
I
on
can't
my end, but maybe it's just like the
as long as
internet.
it's recording
It
your
The
just
end,
good
we're
looks
news
good.
is I'm
interesting.
recording, so
Yeah.
if it looks good over here, then
Weird.
Okay, yeah, good. Good. As long as it
Weird.
looks
I was
good
just
for you.
like I really hope that's
Yeah,
not
no,
the
I'm
case
seeing it
'cause it's
too.
been like 30 minutes.
I'm just you're just not able to connect with me at all because I'm just blurry over here.
Yeah. Well, then it started like getting behind, like you were like moving, like saying something, and then then your voice
Bro,
stopped,
that's
but you were still
weird.
talking on my
My
screen.
internet's good, so it's
Yeah,
probably it's
that's
probably
probably
y'all's
just
fault.
some
I'm just
bullshit.
kidding.
Yeah, it's probably
Evan probably
both
has
ours.
like terabyte internet or some crap.
I do. I have 1 gig up, 1 gig down.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Damn, that's nice. You guys briefly touched on just live service, and one of our things that we wanted to talk about is we've almost deemed Destiny 2 as one of the best, you know, looter shooter MMORPG live service games because they've been doing it for so long. And then you mentioned Destiny Killers, stuff that you've covered. You've covered Anthem, which I think was probably one of the biggest like Destiny Killers, which I think could have been one of the most successful, could have been successful.
Yeah.
And then now there's Suicide Squad. There's there was just so many things that have come out over the years where we've labeled them as possible Destiny killers, Outriders. What was another one as well too?
I mean, there's been Division, there's been Outriders, there's been
Division.
Anthem, there's been some people would say Warframe, but
Yeah,
they forget that Warframe has been around before Destiny.
there's one more that I
Um,
can't think of
What about WoW? Isn't
that
World
I
of
was thinking
Warcraft?
of as well.
Or did you
But
already say that?
well,
Isn't World of Warcraft a live service
yeah,
game?
well, I'm talking about like first person
Oh,
type
okay.
oh,
or
first
third person.
person.
Yeah, like looter shooter type deals.
Oh,
Like
well, I mean, there's been like I don't know if I would call Borderlands 3 a Destiny killer because Borderlands again has been around before it.
yeah,
Warframe, there's I mean, there's First Descendant, which came out very
that was one of
recently.
them. Yeah, I mean that's just the beta. That one hasn't fully released yet. That one I'm actually really excited to play. I actually really do enjoy that one. But what on y'all's opinions makes Destiny such like why hasn't Destiny been killed yet? Why are all these games coming out? Why can't they get it right? Why is Destiny, the one true game that has lasted this long being a live service first person shooter and stuff. So I want to kind of get your opinion on how has Destiny not been killed yet? Do they just do it better than everybody else or is there just are they just
Um,
much better? I don't know. I can give you my opinion as well too.
I think that Destiny is a lot of where it started, the timing, and what it meant, and what people were doing at the time. So, like, one major thing with Destiny, in my opinion, was just when it started, it was very, very much in a window of time that people were not like, it caught the perfect window because it was right when the new generation of consoles were starting for Xbox One and PS4. It was at the end of the 360 era, and it was like a perfect game that you could just say, "Hey, look, let's all hop on, let's play." But it also had, in my opinion, the magic, the progression of
Mhm.
getting better at gunplay, getting better at building your character. Loot progression was great, where you could get exotics. There was so much great progression in Destiny, and it understood what I call the why, which is basically this idea that progression needs to be built into everything. You should always feel like you can get better at movement, you can get better at gunplay, you can get better at understanding your build or understanding your weapon or what. There's always something to get better at, and a lot of getting the god roll was there, a lot of the time that you could spend, but I think it was just also at the perfect time. And it was first person shooter and it had that smooth core element of gunplay and weapons and all that stuff. I think it was just those reasons.
Yeah, I was I was gonna say something very similar where I really think it's just it was I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was one of the first of its kind when it released, and they
Mhm.
adapted really well. Like, I just feel like they pioneered this version of live service
Definitely.
where you're
You
right,
guys
like
have very similar points to what I was gonna bring up, yeah.
yeah, like, it just happened, and then it was something that because when I played it, it wasn't anyth I'd never done anything like that. There was
Oh,
never a
no, me
game
neither.
where
No, it
like,
was I
even
was
the way I
football
played
and
yeah.
sports games.
Same. And the way that I played it was even like that. Like the first time I played Destiny, I played the campaign, then I traded it in because I was like, all right, that was so boring. Because if you just play the campaign, it is because it's
Yeah,
only
I know
like
it was.
10 hours or something. And then whenever I came back to it, whenever someone had told me, I had one buddy who kept grinding it all the way up until House of Wolves. I'm like, why is this guy still playing this? Like, what are you even doing in that game? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. And it's because I'd never played a live service or a looter shooter game. And once I did, I was like, "Oh, dang, this is different." And then ever since then, that's been it. And I think the other thing is realistically, like when you're investing, like not everyone has as much time as people who can invest. I just know that I like invested in Destiny time wise, and it's like what I can show for it, like with essentially like I have titles. That's how I can show that I played this game a bunch. I have every title. Now, I don't have anywhere in my brain that makes me want to go do that in another game, and I don't know why. And I think it's mainly just because I invested all my time in this one, and I feel like it's just like if you invest your money in something, you're probably going to continue to do the thing that you invest your money in.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, I think they just got lucky, if I'm being real, like, they did a good job with mechanics and storytelling, and, like, we've just all been along for the journey. There's been podcasts and YouTubers, like, even, like, Evan being he's here, he's doing it, like, it's just a for me, it's just a like, always been when I thought about this before, I was just sitting there like, "Why on earth is it so good?" Like, why is it, like, the one thing that keeps sticking around for some reason?
Mhm.
And I just think it was when it came out and it pioneered what other people try to copy. And it's kind of like what you said, Evan. Like you created a form of video that other people weren't really doing. And it's because you had a creative idea in your head and you have a gift and you use that gift and incorporated it. And that's why you were so successful in what you did. I think Bungie did the same thing with Destiny. And that's why it's still the thing. Like we're literally sitting here talking about it like almost whatever amount of years later. I don't even know how many years it's been. I
It's
was
been
I was
almost
a
10.
I was a senior in college when I played Destiny 1, that's when it came out, and now I'm 31 and have 2 kids, so it's really
Yeah, it's
been
been
along for the ride.
it's there won't be, in my opinion, unless there's a massive shakeup, there will not be another Destiny the same way there won't be another World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
just won't happen that way. So, and I mean, that's why it's like, the Destiny killer is Bungie, and everybody says that, and everybody kind of, agrees with that. Like the Destiny killer ultimately is Bungie, but I do love that everybody was using Destiny killer for so long, and now everybody's like, "Oh no, it's just been Bungie the whole time." But it's like I still run with the idea that they're just these live service looter clones very much remind me of like, okay, they're looking at a list, but they're also not realizing what made Destiny special. They're like putting a list of features. Oh, we need this tiered loot system. We need to have this many missions. We need to have this end game content. But like they don't realize that Destiny had all of those things, but from a place of one final goal. It was like a single player game in a live service setting
Mhm.
that had one final mission, and it was to bring people together and go into the Vault of Glass. That was like the final mission of the game, and then okay, wait for updates. And a lot of people, there are a lot of developers. Unfortunately, they're kind of just told by the studio heads, and I've been told this by unnamed sources that, like Warner Brothers, for example, with Suicide Squad, was told that Destiny related words or verbiage was not to be used the same way that Anthem was told that if you had Destiny stuff, that they threw away any piece of feedback that was related to Destiny because they wanted to do something different. But it's like, I think all the best art and all the best anything creative has come from a place of imitation, and then taking that and changing it, and like inspiration, not imitation, but inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it's really sad to see that so many studios, at least the people that fund the games, are not willing to just bend the knee a little bit and say like, look, we want to learn from this, because look what happens when it does. You have Power World, which is very much just Pokemon but as a arc survival game. It was, let's combine elements of these things and make Power World, and it's the most successful game on Steam since PUBG. Like, I don't understand why more studios don't understand that. I don't know.
I pride, I don't know, dude, like,
Yeah.
Morals.
Just
they need to just you're 100% right. They if these companies would just not steal Bungie's ideas, but take this. I do the same thing, bro, like, I'm not an idea person,
Just
but
copy the homework, but just
if
change a
if
little bit.
if yeah, if
Well, if you're
someone
Power World, yeah,
yeah,
but if you're
yeah.
Suicide Squad, I mean, you have like, dude, how do you mess up having the entire list of DC heroes and villains? You know what I mean? Like, that's very hard to mess that up because unlike Destiny, unlike Anthem, unlike Warframe, unlike Division, unlike all of these other ones, you don't get, like, you already have the special treatment of everybody knows Batman, everybody knows Harley Quinn, everybody
Mhm.
knows all these heroes and villains, and maybe you can introduce new ones and it makes it feel more special, but most people already know these, so your world is already set up. You don't need to do world building. There goes like a whole year of time that
Mhm.
had to be spent on other games for like world building and lore. But for you, all you have to do is make sure the game is really addicting to try to get better at, really fun to get loot. Loot is rewarding, and loot actually has like, oh, this feels exotic, this feels different from everything else. And then the final goal you need to have like, dude, how cool would it be instead of us fighting Brainiac in all the different universes? How cool would it have been to storm the Batcave and fight evil Batman in his Batcave in a raid? You have to go through the puzzles of the Batcave, then you have to fight like the different kind of things that he's stored there, and then one final showdown with him that's like ridiculously hard. Like I don't know. I feel like it didn't need to be it's not rocket science. Everybody likes these things for a reason. You need to trust that people will spend enough time to get to that final goal, or else the game won't be seen as good and you won't have a player population.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Which
Real
happens, I
real
feel like,
quick, a
to so
point I
many games.
wanted to make about Destiny and stuff like that is you guys talked about how like they did it first, like they were like one of a kind and when they came out. I think a lot of things that a lot of like credit that I feel like they don't get is that also it's just a cleaner UI, cleaner, loot system and stuff like that. Like things I go into like other games like Suicide Squad and it just looks like it looks very confusing.
Yeah.
First Ascendant was very confusing on like progressing. Like I level up. Okay, now I unlock something, but I don't know where that something's at, and it's not
Yeah.
obvious to me. Like I don't know where. Like I don't know why should I use this gun over this gun or why does this gun's perk make no sense? It's just I feel like they've done it in a simple way, but also in a way that's extremely easy to understand. Like I feel like there's not a lot of
Mhm.
things that a new light person coming into this game would like question when it comes to
Mhm.
like how do they become a new light, but also how like I feel like a new light comes to this game for the first time and could probably go do a raid within a week, and
Yeah.
understand what he's doing, understand like the role that he needs to play and stuff like that. And I think that's something that's really overlooked is just how quick you can get into this game and understand it. You
Oh, I
know,
agree.
and
I
it's
you're
just
so
it's
you're
clean.
so
The
right.
like I said, the UI, like you everything's there. You see your power system. You know what that's connected to. You see your weapons and you see your armor. And it's so simple compared to so many other things. And I just keep thinking back to First Ascendant because that was like I enjoyed it, and but it was just confusing. I didn't really know how to progress my person. And there's only one game that I mentioned to you guys that I think almost did it right, and it was Anthem. Um,
Yeah.
Anthem, they did have that simple UI. You had your components, the things that gave you your powers or boosted your powers. And then you had your melee, your grenade, and then your two powers. Like that was so simple. And then there was things that like there was then it got a little bit more complicated as well too, because there were combos and different elements and stuff like that. But if you played the game, you understood them, and you understood there was a system. You had a system of uh of enemies that they had lore behind them. And then you go into like the big boys like the Titans and stuff like that, which are like the bosses and stuff that are in Destiny 2. I think they almost had it. They had the recipe. They took a lot of things from Destiny, but they also made it unique. I mean, it was name another game where you can just jump in the air and start flying around this open world, you know?
Yeah, there's like almost none. I mean, it was such a good idea that EA is now making a Iron Man game, or I mean, it's supposed to come out, but Iron
Yeah.
Man game is supposed to be a thing, and it's all
Amazing.
built off of the Anthem like flight
Yeah.
idea.
I
And I
think
mean, I think that there's also just like a level of hidden depth though, like
Oh
even
yeah. Oh
within
yeah.
because even within Destiny's simplicity, there's always that level of like, all right, sure, I can, all I have to do all for this mission is run down this hallway, shoot some fallen, and then pick up this gun, and it teaches you really well. The tutorials are really easy, but then there's also like, oh, but what's in this cave? And
Mhm.
now I'm gonna go in this cave. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a question mark enemy. So clearly I have to get stronger to come back and fight them.
Mhm.
And it does such a good job with that world building that makes you go, okay, I want to learn this game because it's very pretty. It has this clean gunplay. It has all these abilities that I really like,
I was gonna
but it
mention
also asks me to come back.
exactly. I feel like another thing that they did so well that like other games have really struggled, especially for me. Like I've tried all these little Destiny. I refunded Outriders after like 3 days because I just like this is confusing. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And and to me, like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I can understand that stuff, you know? Like,
Yeah,
there's
you're
not a
actually
point
pretty quick at that,
there's
at
there's
like
not like a
that crap.
game that I like if I understand it, I'm gonna play it. And that's dude, I have not played a game um like Destiny. Like Destiny has obviously been like my main game for years now. But they're like going back to Anthem, like there was a point in time where I didn't play Destiny for like a month, like straight, because I was all hooked on Anthem. There was something about that game that just grabbed you, no matter what it like. And that's what Destiny did as well too. There's some concept in this game that will grab someone, whether it's from a competitive standpoint, whether it's from a power leveling standpoint. There's something that people look in like a looter shooter, and Destiny does has something for someone in every aspect. And I think that's
Yeah.
one thing that they've always succeeded on that other games have been unable to do. Anthem, maybe they didn't have a PvP, so there was no competitiveness to it. All these other live service games as well too are just story games where you go in, you get better, and then you fight a boss and you're done. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
now what? There's not
Yeah.
really much of an end game or something like that. No way to, kind of show your power or show like your expertise, like Luke was saying with the seals and stuff like that. Like, how many do you have?
57 or something.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
have maybe
Way too
4.
many, bro.
So,
The only
like,
reason I
obviously,
play.
like there's something that grabbed Luke as a completionist in this game, and just like so many others. Like we know Scaro is like
He's a real one.
he has the max triumph score.
Yeah, dude. Those guys are. They have
I don't
something
know.
wrong with
It's
them.
just like there's so many people that show off and flaunt so many different things, and because there's such a big realm, excuse me, with Destiny, and that's another thing that I think that just other games just
Yeah.
haven't hit the nail on the head with just yet. So
And
until that
it
happens, Destiny will never die until, like you said,
No.
Bungie does it. Until
And at
Bungie
this point, there's a thing that is we're just in a sunk cost fallacy with Destiny, where like even if it doesn't happen, aka Lightfall, or in my opinion, the seasons of Witch Queen and even some parts of Beyond Light where things got really dry, even when things don't work out, or Curse of Osiris, where everybody hated the game and all that stuff, yada yada yada. Even when things are bad, people are still committed because they know, hey, there's a raid coming up, or hey, I
Mhm.
want to, I still need to get that grind because this is my game that I've invested so many hours. So I still want my loot. So then I'm already in. So I have to see it out. And that's why, in my opinion, they didn't make Destiny 3. And I have no clue when Destiny 3 will happen because they don't want people to have that feeling of, oh, we have to restart. We really have to go for this again. And we have to do something that's ambitious and new, the same way that Destiny 2 is like, so in my opinion, I'm making a video on that really soon. Red
Yeah.
War is like so good, just held back by a lot of bad kind of decisions that were on the
Mhm.
back end. But again, they brought a lot of players back to Forsaken because people were still invested in Destiny. Because they're like, yeah, even though I didn't get my loot and yada yada yada, and I'm gonna have to grind this, I still like Destiny. I'm still invested in this. I played Destiny 1. I'm gonna go check out what Destiny 2 Forsaken has. So that's why it's like with Final Shape, I know a lot of people were like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna cancel my pre-order. I'm like, we'll see on week 1 of Final Shape how true that
I
is.
will say I've yet to buy it just simply because of the funds. I don't want to
Yeah,
spend money on that shit
I
right now.
haven't bought
Yeah.
it just because I keep forgetting, but I wouldn't have. I'm playing it no matter what, and
Oh,
I
no,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going
where
to.
I'm
Yeah.
at.
No,
I
I
say this
will.
every freaking podcast. I'm like into the point of, and I probably am maybe similar to others. That investment that's been in Destiny 2, once Final Shape's over, I feel like I'm good. Like that was
Mhm.
fun. I invested so much time, had so much fun. Like it was worth it. I'm ready for something new. Like if you
Mhm.
want to do Destiny 3 or Destiny without any number, and it's a whole like we just leave our solar system and go somewhere else and start something new. That's like a whole nother ambitious thing that I'd be willing. Like I'm ready. Like me personally, Bearded Luke's ready to move into the next version. Like I don't really want like like blatantly honestly, I don't want to play this game anymore. Like I just want to like like I feel like we've
In a good way. No, I see what you're
it's
saying.
like
No,
it's
yeah.
Yeah.
overdone. Like I want to do Final Shape and then I literally just want it to be over so that we can play something else because it's I just can't do the same strikes that I've been doing for 50 years. I don't want to keep doing the same PvP maps, the same this, the same that. Like I'm ready to invest my time like I did in the past, which is a little bit more limited since I have kids, but into something new that makes me excited to like stay up till 3 in the morning or something that makes me excited to like get off of work and actually play this game. Like, I don't know if there's other people feeling that way. Like, I don't really want it to be rejuvenated. Like, I feel like we've gotten that like 3 times already. Like, I just want Final Shape to be really good. Let's
Yeah.
wrap this story up and let's
Yeah.
move into the next journey. Whether
Yeah.
that's this system or a different source system or a whole entire new story, like built in the same universe, but it's not the same characters. I don't really care. Like, I'm willing to play whatever the next, as long as it's the same gameplay and the same visuals and kind
Yeah.
of the same systems.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that. I don't like all of that's just like made up in my head, right? Like none of that's confirmed, but that's
I
where I'm at
agree though.
personally.
I think a lot of people would agree. Just like the gauge that I get is that a lot of people I think it's gonna be, and that's why I'd honestly, in my head, I would expect even another delay to have been announced by now for Final Shape. I'm surprised that June is happening because the
Same.
first delay is a long time, but you got to think like they had been going forward with the idea that people were loving this thing and the seasons and all this stuff for years. Then all of a sudden, everybody gets really vocal to the point where they leave that much. And now everybody's so anti Bungie. I feel like if you even bring up Destiny or Bungie, people get the ick. You know, like the ick is a real thing. And for a Destiny fan, you know, for a girlfriend out there, for a girl that you might know, it might be anything. But for a Destiny fan, it is bringing up Bungie or Destiny at a time that they are just not interested because right now they're in that breakup phase of like, I don't want to talk to this. I don't want to talk to this game. I don't want to look at this game. And that's fine. But I also know that because of that, Bungie needs to knock it out of the park because
Oh yeah.
otherwise you will not have that same excitement going into the next one. You will not have the audience that was lining up at midnight screaming Destiny, Destiny, Destiny when Destiny 2 was on the way. When Destiny 2 was coming out, it was the most hyped game I have ever seen. You know,
Same.
it was so hyped. The whole world was talking about it. And it was finally that moment as a friend that was trying to get my brother and some other friends into Destiny that they didn't really like the first game as much or they weren't sure about it. They get into it. They really like the story of Red War. They like doing some of the stuff. And then they're like, yeah, this game got really boring and bad. And I'm like, no, like it was because of this and they'll fix it. We've been here
Yeah.
before.
Just wait. Just
And
wait.
then yeah, just wait, just wait. And then Forsaken comes along. I'm like, see, and then they're like, yeah, I just don't care about the game anymore.
Yeah,
And
it
they
was too
haven't
long,
come
too
back.
little, too late. Yeah.
So exactly. So they need to make sure Final Shape, the final one is just so good that we're able to talk about it in 20 years from now and go, look, like this this thing when we were younger was like this was our game. Like this was so good. Like, you know, at the end they were able to save it and they had this crazy moment and then Bungie, because in my opinion, I don't think it's just Destiny on the line if they don't do well by Final Shape. I think it's Marathon on the line because there's such a
Oh
tie-in
yeah.
to the
No, there's a
name Bungie.
reputation that they have to, you know,
Yeah.
uphold.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much on the line with Destiny at this point in its final year that like that's why I'm just surprised there's not another delay announced.
I know.
I'm just
I talked about that a couple episodes ago where I was like, what is this? Like, truthfully, they were ready to just like put a game out in February. Like they were like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then everyone complained, blah 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 blah, and then they delayed it. What is 4 extra months? Like truthfully, what is that really gonna do? Like, I know there's a
oh,
lot of talented people that are working on it, but like, is that really gonna revolutionize like is that the entire thing? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I was also expecting soon because I feel like they're still not saying anything about Final Shape. I was expecting another like, it's gonna be in September. Sorry, we really want it to be good. We're switching stuff
yeah.
up in here. I don't know. I'm with you though. I'm surprised they haven't either.
Um, let's get into another thing here real quick, just because we're getting short on time.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh
No,
my
you're
god,
good. No,
I
no.
yapped for so long.
You guys have been. We've all been talking. I don't. That's
Yeah.
not a. It's a good problem to have. So, but I definitely want to do. I definitely want to do the little game, and then we'll get into the hot take and call tonight. Thoughts?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So this little game, as you guys know, we do something per episode where we have to do some type of rating. We do some type of opinionated type game. And this time, and I want you guys to come up with one in addition whenever we're done here. I have 4 things, scenarios or things in the game that people would deem probably some would deem difficult, but some may seem like it's not. So you guys are going to give me a rating 1 through 5. And I'll give my rating as well too. You can give a little excerpt of why you rate it this way. But this is going to be difficulty ratings in Destiny 2. So 8 things here. We're going to start out with something that a lot of people, may have some opinions about. In this case, our first one is going to be a day 1 raid. I'm just talking about day 1 raiding. You're sitting there, it's starting, and we're going to assume like you want to complete it. Like day 1, you're going to try your best to complete it. What is your difficulty rating? 1 being no, that's very easy. To going up to 5 being one of the hardest things to do and to complete in Destiny. So, what do y'all think on day 1 raids?
Ooh.
There's been a lot.
I'm gonna go with oh man. Oh, this is tough, man. I want to say 5, but also it there's so many factors.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna go
Obviously,
with 4.
some are easier than others, but just overall,
solid 4 on this one.
4. I'm at a 4 as well too. I feel like day 1 raids is probably one of the hardest things to complete.
Wait,
in
is this
the
out of
game.
5 or 10?
Out of 5. Yeah, 1 through 5.
I was like, dang, you guys think it's easy.
No,
I'm over here. I was like 8.
No, 1 through 5. 1 through 5 because that
say
can
8,
vary.
bro.
So
I was gonna say 8.
Keep it simple.
You should have let me just say 8. I thought you'd be like, what are you talking about? I would say, truthfully, yeah, because there's another thing that I think is slightly harder. So 4. I'm with you guys.
We're putting it a 4 out of 5 on difficulty.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm with you. I think we all agree there that like it can be done. Like if you sit down and you truly like prep yourself, and I think you can. You have a good team, and obviously, like we said, some are easier than others.
Yeah, it's the hardest crap I've ever done. Like if you're sitting there for 18 hours playing something,
Oh
you
yeah,
can't beat,
yeah,
then
yeah.
I'd say
sure.
that difficulty is hard.
I personally have only failed once, and that was one. Well, I didn't really even get to try. Really, I didn't get to try Crota. But I did try to beat Crota. Like I gave it like a 4 hours or something like that, but then we couldn't get it like in the time period.
Yeah, because we started at what, like midnight?
Yeah, like 9 o'clock at night on like a Sunday
with some random people.
Yeah. But the ones where I have actually sat down, prepped for, and played, I have completed within a decent amount of time, I'd say. So, okay, the next one is a solo dungeon.
All right, I'll go first. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, so like I've done this several times, and it's like the hardest crap I've ever done in my life. Solo
Really?
stuff.
Okay.
I'm not good at soloing anything because there's so many calculated things that I guess solo flawlessing is.
Yeah, this is just a solo. This is just solo, not solo flawless.
I'll just say 4 again.
4. Okay. Do you think that and day 1 raid is kind of on the same par?
Just anything solo to me is it's about as hard as, I guess it doesn't take me as long, but that's because I'm in control. It
Sure.
takes as longer on day 1 raids because my team sucks. Essentially, sorry if you're listening to this and you're on my team, but you suck.
Jeez, calling them out.
It depends on the dungeon.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
For
In this
example,
game, some are easier than others.
yeah, I did Warlord's Ruin, and that was really hard. Ghost of the Deep, I just don't like the dungeon, so I don't care enough to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and say overall, though, it depends on the meta that we're in, but how I like to play it, and if I'm playing the way that I am.
Again, this is not flawless. This is just completing it.
Solo. Oh, a 2.
This is just completing it. Yeah.
A 2.
A 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a little bit easier.
3, solo a 2.
I go 3 for all of it. I think soloing is. I'm not a good solo person, like when it comes to PvE, because I feel like the game, I don't try hard enough in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
like
I get it.
Yeah, like you're
If
not
I
like
were to-
calculating like
Exactly,
build a
like-
specific build that's going to be the most efficient way to get through something, right?
Yeah, that's
Exactly,
fair.
exactly. But
Same.
have I soloed a dungeon? Yes. Was it difficult? To an extent, like it's difficult because I'm getting pissed off because I died or something like that. So like I get more frustrated as we go. But okay, Luke, I'm not sure if you've done one of these, but a low man raid.
I've never done one. No, I'm not interested though, so I'll just not say anything.
Okay.
I like watching people do, but I don't. I
Yeah,
honestly could care less about.
it is
doing
one of the-
low man.
It is one of the coolest things I think to witness.
I love
is a low man
watching.
raid.
It's. I would say that it's like one of the most unique, cool-looking challenges in
Mhm.
Destiny.
And what
Like,
I'm saying duo and trio. So like some things you can duo, but trio is kind of like the obvious low man, like trying to, use half as many people as you normally do. So let's just stick it to like just 3-man raids, I guess. Let's stick it with that. I think this is a solid 4. And
I'll
like
give it a I'll
I'd
give it a
even put it
3.
at I'd even put it maybe a 4.5,
Really?
truthfully.
Harder than day 1 rating?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
have
mean,
to
it
give it a
requires
3.
some of them require different strategies. Some of them require, I mean, one of them required like an oob at some point, where you had to literally get out of the map and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
but
think
the
I'd put it at a solid 4.
I'm putting it at a 3 only because day 1 rating being a 4
Yeah.
would tell me that day 1 rating is you have to learn everything, then you have to after you've learned everything, you have to do it in a time crunch, and everybody on your team has to contribute to that.
Mhm.
Whereas a low man, like 3-man or 2-man of something, if you're the first team to ever do it, if you're the first team to discover it, I might say a 4
Okay.
because there's a lot that goes into that, and being first to figure out the challenge and really knock that out of the park
Yeah.
is really difficult, and I mean
Okay.
but I've done low mans and I've been on teams where, it just depends on the role that you're on, and some low mans are really easy compared to others. Not to say that
Yeah.
they're easy at all, but like it's a whole different raid practically. But you
Mhm.
can low man, like Last Wish is a lot easier to low man than Vow of the Disciple. But Vow of the Disciple, even then it's like a lot of the raids past contest, that modifier and learning the struggles of it are so much easier overall once you understand it. And I feel like if you're in a position to low man a raid, you already understand the raid. And if you're not the team to discover it, then you already know what to bring into it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like
You're kind of given like a template.
there's like a playbook, yeah.
I
So,
got
like,
you. That makes sense.
I think it's a 3, but I still think that if you've never done one and you're going in with a team that has never done one, then it could be a 4, but I'd put it 3 right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Moving on the PvP side of things here. Going flawless as a solo, like freelance solo flawless, in Trials of Osiris.
Oh god.
I think this is at a 3. I think this is
Oh.
like moderately easy because really
depends
like that
on
depends on
how
how
good
well
you
you
are, though.
play.
And
I mean, yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like I
like,
don't
I'm
think
not like like, I'm not at the level where, like, I can carry a team.
right.
So, like, that instantly makes me depend on my randoms. So that would make it harder, right? So it's tough
I
to
would think
rank this
so.
one.
I still think people would probably have an easy. Going back on what Evan was saying, like thinking about a day 1 raid, like I feel like a lot more people could easily go solo flawless.
But I feel like normal
It
people
depends.
wait, are we answering this based off what we think people in the Destiny community? It's just us.
Just how easy do you think it is?
Because I feel like I swear on my life, and maybe it's just I'm just stupid because I've grown up feeling this way. But so many people say stuff that I think is hard is so easy. Like that was the easiest thing ever. I'm like, bro, I thought that was hard. But then they can't do like something else that I think's easy. That's one of the things that people are always like, "Bro, I just flew through solo flawless easy, or solo flawless card. It was easy." I'm like, bro, that's not easy. Like from like that's you have to be good at this game and not
Yeah.
lose any games in PvP against other good players. So shoot, I'm gonna get flamed on TikTok for this because I'm gonna just give this a 4 because it's hard as frick for me. Everyone's gonna be like, it's not hard. This game's not competitive.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm at
I'm
a
a
3.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
I think I would go solo flawless. And again, this is also my skill set. Like I'm obviously more of a PvP player. So like I think I could definitely solo a dungeon before I went solo flawless in trials. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Mhm.
that's much easier to do in my opinion. Okay, this one also on the PvP side of things, reaching ascendant rank in competitive game mode.
Bro,
Oh god.
that's hard. Why? That was
Uh,
really
I think
hard.
this
yes.
is overlooked as a difficult thing to achieve.
Yeah, because it just annihilates you when you get into those higher tiers when you lose.
Mhm.
You lose like 500 points.
I would this
Uh,
I've
might be
never
my
went
first
Ascendant though,
this
so I
might
don't
be
know if
my
I can
first
answer.
5 of the night.
I've never went Ascendant, so I don't know. Am I not allowed to answer? I've never even tried.
Right?
I mean, I tried to get I had to get up to a certain point for a seal, and then I just stopped.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
gonna
feel
say
like
I'm gonna say Ascendant, but like you get Ascendant at like 8,500, but I'm talking about like 10K, like max Ascendant rank. Like getting in like the Ascendant like 9,500 to
I'll just say
1,000 or to
I'll
10K.
just rate it at 5 because
I'm gonna give it a 5,
that's hard,
truthfully. I
bro.
think
I'm
that's
not doing that.
I think it's overlooked as probably one of the hardest
I
things to
guess,
do in
dude,
this
if it's
game.
so hard that I don't wanna even try it, then I'll just say that's a 5,
What
really.
about you, Evan?
I'm gonna give that one. Oh God, I feel like I've been consistent on this, but I, I'm gonna give it a 3 only because I feel like if you put in the time to get to Ascendant and you
Mhm.
really grind for it, I feel like you could get there because it's not as penalizing as it used to be with losing points. I feel like eventually, right? Is it? Is it penalizing? I don't know. I haven't played PvP in a
I
while.
haven't played it in a while, but I know whenever
I
I did
couldn't
do it,
tell you.
it was tough. Like some games you win and you get like +5, next game you lose and you get like minus
Yeah,
200.
I
So
feel
it's
like
like,
I feel like maybe a 4 then if it's that tough, but
yeah.
I'd probably say 3 for now just because if it's how it used to be when I used to play a lot of PvP, a 4. If it's how it could be in my head, then I'm gonna give it a 3. I don't
Okay.
know. We'll see if they
You think as
updated
long
it.
as you put the time in and effort, you will eventually get there, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean, I
disagree
think I
with
could
that,
do
but I
that.
also like you have to do
Oh
good.
yeah,
Like
oh yeah.
if you're not
But
winning games, you're not bumping up.
It's just gonna take you months.
Yeah.
Like, I could do it. I wish you had the thing on there for getting unbroken, like, getting to whatever it used to be, 5,500 or whatever.
Okay.
Like,
Like yeah, back in the day,
what
like with
competitive
Lewis
was before
Howe
they
or
switched it.
with the
'Cause that wasn't hard at all, so
that was fun. I remember that.
so
Like
fun.
getting legend or whatever, like three straight uh seasons. Okay, back in the PvE side of things, this is kind of a little bit more specific.
mhm.
Petra's run. Doing
Oh,
a Petra's
Bro,
run.
that's
if we're
1.
wait, 6 man?
Yeah, 6-man Petra's run, excuse me.
Yeah, 1. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give that a
that's
1.
I think
that was the
I looked at this, I was like, dude, they might give it like a pretty high. I honestly think this is like a 1 or
nah,
2.
that
Yeah, I
was
think
the
like
easiest flawless I've ever done in a raid.
yeah, I think it took me
No.
like my first or second attempt. We got it done.
I'm gonna give it a
Especially like
1
if you
because
know
today's
the
game is
raid.
just like very forgiving. Like there used to be
Yeah.
times in Queens Walk where somebody would get like knocked into a wall, and then now it just you don't die on getting knocked
Yeah.
into a wall.
Yeah,
You
there's
can
so many builds
20 feet,
where you can survive a lot of different
everything.
things. Yeah, I'm giving this. I'm gonna be consistent with you guys. I'm gonna give that a 1 as well. Okay, this is a little bit more specific. But a solo whisper or outbreak mission. Like so, there's like together. Like there's the secret missions that we've had, like the timed missions. Soloing that, like back in the day. I'm not talking about like now. I'm talking about like being like the power level that we were at the time that they ran out.
I don't think
How
we
hard
can do it now, to be fair.
you can't.
No. You can't do
Well, yeah, okay. I'm talking about. I'm not mean like don't put yourself in the scenario like right now, like in the meta that we have.
Just
Like that would probably be easy.
no, no, you can't do it. Like it's not in the game. Whisper
Not
and
in the
outbreak.
game.
That was the joke.
Right? No,
Yeah.
I understand that.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm just saying. Like don't think about like how easy would that be now? Like we like in a sense. I'm talking about like whenever they first came out and you tried to solo that shit. Like how hard was it then? You know.
Oh,
I don't even remember.
I did solo it a few times. Man, I'll give it that a 2. I'll give
Yeah,
that a 2.
I was at a solid 2 there as well too. All right, Luke, you said you don't know.
No score. Just continue.
All right, this is the last one. I want you guys to think of one as well too. This is the last one for me, but soloing a GM.
Oh,
Bro, 5. I'm never doing that.
Really?
Yeah, screw that.
I think it does have to be one of the hardest things to do in this game. I mean, seriously, like you think about what GMs are now. Like you're minus 40. You're going into a contest raid type deal, you know, with one person, and I mean, people may make it look easy, but in my opinion, that's probably one of the hardest things. I would give it a 5 as well too, to be honest.
I feel like nah. I'm gonna give this one a 3. The only
Okay.
reason is
Evan's
because
just
again,
better than all of us at this game.
if you
bro.
just have the right build, if you have the right plan, and you watch how somebody else has done the solo GM, it's just a patience game. You have infinite
That is true.
time.
It is a, you know, the long, like you can take your time.
Yeah, you can go nice and slow. Now, I would say that like it has that same feeling as solo flawless of a dungeon.
Mhm.
GM is definitely a lot harder version of that. and the champions suck to deal with. That's the one part that I dread for anybody that has to do it. But again, I feel like it's not harder than a day one. I feel like day one, maybe I underestimated. Maybe I should have put day one at a 5, but I feel like it's not harder than a day one,
Okay.
especially in like the most recent day one. Maybe not Ron, but most recent day one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you guys have any scenarios? One quick.
Oh,
If not, we can go into your or really we can just call it a night. It's completely up to you guys.
I think I might have one. Let me think for a second.
I got one.
Okay.
Riven legit.
I haven't done it legit.
It's a
bro.
1. That
You
shit's
think
so
Riven
easy, bro.
legit's a 1?
Yes, that's so easy. People overestimate how difficult that is. That's a 1, a 2 at most.
I feel like Riven legit was this like I don't know. I feel like to me, a lot of people kind of they immediately assumed that Riven legit was going to be this like, or sorry, a lot of people skip over it because there's an easy way to do it. But then
Yeah.
a lot of people come out liking it. But then there's still a lot of wipes on that encounter.
I could go do that right now and explain it to a whole fire team of 5 other people, and I think we could give me an hour and we'd be finished with it.
All right, yeah. I feel
Truthfully. It used to be though. It used to be something that I like hid from because I thought it was so difficult, and like at the time, like trying to get 6 people to understand that was difficult. But now I think there's so many other things in this game that are way more complex that you have to know that just gets kind of like pushed off to the side as like, that's really easy to explain.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, what about you, Luke? Did you come up with one?
Flawless Crown of Sorrow.
So that raid specifically, flawless 6-man. I'm assuming, or even just in general. I would.
Yeah, 6-man, like regular, like flawless run in it. It was the hardest flawless I did, is what I'm trying to get at.
I think
Not
the
like a
only
5,
actual, I think the only like actual flawless raid that I have completed is Petra's run. I don't think I've actually tried that one. So I don't know, but like based off the mechanics alone, I would probably put that at a maybe a 3 or 4.
Like
I
what
would
Evan was
think
saying
it'd be one
earlier.
of the harder raids to flawless with 6 people.
Yeah, well, what Evan was saying earlier about like how now when you get smacked into walls, nothing happens. In
Yeah,
that final encounter,
XP.
bro. you
Oh,
get
yeah.
No, but there's
yeeted all
there's
over the
way more
place.
like timed, like you guys all have to be in sync. You guys all have to do things in a pattern, and at crystals and then hands and then damage and then boss and then
not
I
get kicked
persevere,
by
take the shield or something like that. Like, hey guys, now it's time to move on. We go to the next. Like, I think that would be a
I
more
loved
difficult
doing
one.
it flawless. I just remember it being so. I remember it being so complicated because of stupid like random deaths because of just people getting smacked into the wall.
Yeah, yeah. That one I died. I think I wiped on crystals more than anything. Like just the time that you had to, you forget the method, you forget the sequence of events and stuff like that, and shit gets out of whack. So I would put that as a 3 or 4 easily.
Yeah, probably same.
Okay. I think it's
We
time
did it.
to
That was a fun game.
call it a night, brother. I'm getting a little tired.
Yeah. It's it's
10-4.
that time where I've been
I
yapping too
think
much,
I hit a wall. Like right there towards the end.
You
I'm
just
hit.
hit like a flat, just a straight up like ran into a brick wall at the end.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm like, I just yapped for so long, man.
Oh yeah.
No, I
had a
enjoyed
great
that,
time.
bro.
I had a
That
great
was a
time.
blast.
That
As
was
always.
some good quality fun talking. People that listen to this, you guys are lucky you got to listen to that.
Facts.
That was fun.
Well,
Are we doing
Evan,
a hot take or are we ending?
Oh, we should do a hot take.
We need to do
give
one.
us a hot
One
take,
hot
man.
take.
We'll end it on a hot take.
You can stay awake, Max. You're young still.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm honestly I'm waiting till 11:30 because I for some reason one of my assignments aren't available until 11:30 and it's really easy. I was just gonna complete it real quick before I went to bed. I don't understand. Don't ask me why. I think she meant to put it at 11:30 a.m. instead of p.m. So, but it was something quick. I'm just gonna complete it before I go to bed.
Oh, you're chilling, man. I feel like my hot take is just that. Oh god, hot take about. Do you guys want to do it about Destiny or about just anything?
Yeah, preferably about Destiny. Something that we
Yeah.
can.
Hot take about Destiny.
yell at you for?
My hot take about Destiny is that Final Shape will be really, really good. And a lot of
Okay.
people do not think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be really, really good because they've been working on that DLC since my guess before Lightfall existed. Because that feels like
Oh, that only
the
makes
game
sense.
that,
Yeah, no.
yeah, that feels like the game that we were kind of supposed to advertise wise get for Lightfall is
Mhm.
maybe where they're going to start Final Shape. So maybe Final Shape has been worked on for years and years and years, and it is this great thing. And I think at the end of the day, it'll be pretty dang great. The one thing that I hope for though is that they give us something new, the way that Dungeons and Gambit were new and Forsaken. I want a new experience in the game, not just more of the same. But if there's more of the same, I think it'll be really good. And I think a lot of people will actually have a great time at this thing. They won't get all the things that they love, but they'll have a great time with whatever it is, and it'll be a good ending. So I'm team good ending, despite having my last year of videos be like, yeah, things are bad. I'm team good ending for Final Shape.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't have I think that's a hot take to some, but not to these two boys here. I'm excited about this.
I just, dude, think I've been excited for every like major DLC that's come out because I mean, how can you not? How can you
I'm
not get
always excited,
excited
bro.
for a big chunk of story, lore, gameplay, event, like everything being like the game is literally advertised as a whole new game once these come out, like Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, like Destiny 2 Final Lightfall. Like they're like advertised as new games that we get to play and that we get to, see how our progression is affecting the story and different stuff like that. So, because if there's anything that I think Bungie does well is its storytelling and it's, immersing you in this universe of, of Destiny and their characters and stuff like that. So I'm with you. I wouldn't deem that really as a hot take, but I do think that that would be something that maybe a lot of people now in this day would disagree with. But as a fan of Destiny, I think I'm excited for it as well too. So
Yeah.
I think it's
that's
gonna
a
be
good
awesome.
one.
I'm very optimistic. All me and Maddox are. That's probably why we still do a Destiny podcast in
Yeah.
2024. But we're very
Please be
optimistic.
good.
Every time I'm like, I have my expectations set like pretty low. So like it doesn't really like they could
Yeah.
just come out with like a
That's the
mission.
thing
I'd be like,
is,
that was fun. All right, cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'll
Expectations are low, but optimism is high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because why live your life like upset that you're about to get a video game? You know what I mean? Like we're about to get
Yeah.
a new video game. It's fun. Like
That makes
everybody
sense.
who's mad about it, chillax. Like you could just be out doing something stupid, but you're playing a video game. That's fun. And
There
if
you
you
go.
don't have fun, then just throw your PC out the window. I don't know. You don't deserve it.
Play something else. So,
No, don't play something else. Destiny
oh yeah,
only.
you're not allowed.
You can play Animal Crossing. It's pretty chill.
I heard it's a pretty good game.
It is. I like Animal Crossing. Go play Red Dead Redemption and just sit in the mountains and open your window and turn your fan on and enjoy the,
I'm gonna
enjoy
have to
the
do.
night.
I gotta get a game. I gotta turn.
You
I
actually
gotta
do, yeah.
I need to go
Dude,
do that shit.
dude,
I need to go play like Phasmophobia outside or something like that.
Bro, I had a friend that like every time he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just taking a drive to clear my head," and he'd open up GTA 5 and just drive on the map in GTA 5.
That's
And he'd
hilarious.
just
I'm
drive
just,
on
I'm
the
just
freeway.
driving, bro.
I
gotta.
feel that, bro. I resonate with that so much. That's amazing.
I need to go clear my head. Stopping at the stop signs and everything. Wait for them to.
Yeah, dude.
Bro's just crying.
Obeying traffic laws in GTA 5.
Bro, if you don't play like that, it's not GTA, bro.
Bro, I was doing GTA RP and GTA 4 before it was a thing. I'd be
Yeah.
I had my dude wake up. There's a bank you could go to and stand in. I'd drive my car down to the coffee shop, go in, get some, drive to the internet cafe, get on, check my emails, drive over to my job, go in there. I'd stand there until it was dark.
Oh my
Then I'd
god.
go to the club, get dinner, and then go home and go to sleep. I literally would do that
Bro.
in a video game.
Well, GTA 6 is gonna be for you because they have RP built into the
I
game.
know. I can't freaking bro.
You can be
GTA
bearded
6,
Luke, like the in-game father. Like taking like you could
have to
actually
have.
like play the
You have
role
to
of
have
father.
virtual intercourse.
You would.
Okay. Only if
Yeah.
it's with only if it's with Maddox.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like, yeah, I'll be the pregnant woman. I'll be
You'll
the
be Samantha
female version.
Not
Maddox.
Maddox, it'll be Madalena. There you go.
Madalena. Samantha Madalena.
There you go.
All right. Well, Evan, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me on.
this
This
is
is
so
always
fun.
such a cool invite, man.
dude. It's
Yeah,
always
it was
good talking to you.
our first pre-recorded episode. No one has seen this content yet
Nobody has
Nah,
seen it.
just us.
until now.
They might one day.
Well,
They
they've
might.
seen it now because
they have
if
seen it.
they're
That's
watching or
true.
listening to this, they're seeing
That's
it.
true. No, you're right.
They're-
You're right.
Yeah.
But right now at 10:49 p.m. on the day of Monday, the 12th of February of our Lord's year,
Yeah.
you haven't seen it.
Yeah. You haven't seen it yet.
Fear of the Lord.
You will. And when that happens, I hope you're doing well. I hope your headspace is good, whoever's listening. And if
Yes.
it's not, I wish you the best.
Yeah, Evan will
There you go.
come personally to your house and give you a hug.
Yeah, I will. I've been told I'm a really good hugger, so I
let's
will
go.
do that.
Love that.
We're gonna all hug this year in real life.
Oh, we
We
will.
are.
We will.
We are.
Genuinely, it's gonna
I'm
be
s-
awesome.
We're
And
gonna
then
do
we'll-
some live stuff, not like live podcast stuff, but we're gonna do some like interviewing stuff again at GCX
Yeah,
and
dude.
like, but more of like, kind of like the TikTok style. I think we're gonna. I'd like to lean towards instead of
Mhm.
like sitting someone down and like asking them questions. I'd like to really just get like raw emotions and stuff.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna just and like not of just like creators. I want to like I want to find just a random person and be like, yo, what's your favorite Destiny weapon? You know,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be
just
like,
that.
I don't play Destiny. I'm here for a different
Yeah.
game because this is GCX Gaming
I'm here
Community
for
Expo.
Evan. Whoa.
Hey man.
I
I'm
just
here
wanted to
for-
meet
I'm there
Evan.
for
I've
you
never
guys.
played games.
I'm there for you guys.
Oh, well, dude, thanks
I'm
again for
only
joining
going
us.
to meet Evan.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
We
This
appreciate
is
you, and
so cool.
we hope to have maybe we'll get just the whole household on one night, and
Maybe,
you guys,
yeah.
Bro, yes, the oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. All 6 of us on here.
That would be
God.
actually so fire.
Wait, there
His
isn't
internet would
6 of
blow up.
us. That's
I'm just
5
kidding.
of us.
Well,
Yeah, there'd be 5 of us.
I'll bring. Do you have a dog or a cat?
No,
There you go. My dog's
he-
right here.
he does.
Okay, yeah, we'll just bring your dog. We'll put Matt in for dog cam.
I
Yep,
could get
dog
Crew
cam.
in here. My
you go.
son, he could
There
just
you
sit
go.
here
Yeah.
and he'll just yell bubbles and stuff. It'll be awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Well, Evan, thanks for joining us. Everyone, thank you for listening, watching, whatever you do. We appreciate you supporting. We love you. I love you guys. This was episode 51 of the Destiny Nerds podcast, and we will see you on the next one. Adios.
Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you love about Evan in the comments.
and tell us that we're hot and get us all the views because that's all we care about. Just kidding.
Whatever.
I love you.